Okay, thank you. Without wasting much time, we'll move on to what we came here to do. And we'll be introducing our speaker. He is Ezekiel Elom. He's a software developer who enjoys building engaging and user-friendly web experience. He pays close attention to details and understands how modern technology works, allowing him to create applications that are both functional and enjoyable to use. As I'm introducing him, please be clapping for him because after now, you'll be getting to hear from him and also prepare your writing materials as well. So beyond development, he is passionate about making a positive impact. He loves teaching, he loves guiding and supporting others on tech. He has mentored 50 students, many of whom have gone on to become developers like him. Success for him is just about building products, but it's not just about building products, but also about helping people grow and achieve their goals. So give it up for Mr. Ezekiel Elom. Sir, you have the floor. We are ready for you. Users, thank you very much.
Good evening, everyone. I don't know if you can hear me. Good evening, everybody.
Good evening, I can hear you.
So, my name is Ezekiel. Today, we are going to be looking at a very important topic, right? And I won't take much of your time because our time is already spent. Yeah. So, I can see some names. Yeah. I can see my boss lady, Mrs. Joy Bassi. Welcome, man. I can see Johnny, I can see Angela, I can see Peaceful, and many other persons I may not have time to start mentioning. So thank you for coming on. All right, so I'll be sharing my screen at the moment. I'll be sharing my screen. Give me the next. I don't know if you can see my screen. Please, if you can see my screen, do let me know. Okay. All right. So you are not bad at tech, right? You are not bad at tech. What you need is the right starting point. So I'm going to repeat that again. You are not bad at tech. What you need is the right starting point. So why is tech one of the best skills today? Well, the reason why tech is one of the best skills today is because it requires a high demand locally and you get work from home, what they call remote opportunities, right? And you have your options. right? To do whatever you want to do at any point in time. And the advantage of why having a skill is that at some point, when you get to see what others are doing, right? Since you are trying to solve a problem, which is what tech is about, you also get to build your own product. So by the end of this session, what you'll be going home is understanding your tech career path, knowing which skill to learn first, and know the exact tools to start with, and then have a step-by-step action plan. So, um, before we start, trying to now there is a myth, right? In tech, there is a myth that you must be a genius, right? Or you must have a computer science degree, or seems I repeated that word there, but I think it's one of the things people do not really understand, right? But the reality is that if you want to start in tech, you must make up your mind to be consistent. Why? Because it's consistency that will help you grow and become who you want to be in the career you decide to choose. And the truth is, anybody can learn, right? And your skills in the marketplace, it matters more than what you have or what people will call certificates, right? So now, our tech, it's divided into the broad sections, 5 broad sections you are having here. Now, you are either in the development aspect, like those that has to do with designing, writing, programming languages, right? Or you are in the design aspect, you should create design, whether for websites, flyers, or what kind of thing you want to do. And those in the data industry, they are analyzing things, they are checking things out, they are predicting what will happen based on what they've seen or the trends, right? And then we have the security aspect. So those that keep a website secure or keep your data secure, the cybersecurity experts. And we also have a product. So those that manage others, like the product managers, where they get to see what will happen or see a problem and then decide to come up with a solution. Now, this does not only apply to them, it applies to every other person. But I'm just telling you the section they belong to. Now, how do you choose your path? Right? How do you choose your path? Before you pick a path when learning or when you are trying to branch into tech, one of the things you need to do is to ask yourself questions. You ask yourself questions so that you won't end up confusing yourself or telling yourself, oh, this is not for me. Asking questions will help you know what to do and know which path you need to go into. So the first one there is, do you enjoy visuals or logic, right? Or do you like things that are creative, or you like to analyze things? Or do you enjoy solving problems? So if you enjoy visuals or logic, right, it means you would like to go into designs, right? You like to go into design. If you like creativity or you like to analyze things, It means you might want to take a look at data analysis and other things that have to do with analyzing content and trends. And then if you like to solve problems, now all of them are solving problems, right? But there's a part of problems that needs you to use a programming language. So if you feel you are in that aspect, after asking yourself all those questions, and by observation, then you now know where you belong. I hope you are all following. I'd like to check if we are all following. All right.
Yes, I can't see your screen though.
All right. I would like to confirm again. Can you see my screen? Because my screen is displaying.
No.
Right. Okay. So if you can't see my screen, it might also be because of your network, because majority of the people we are seeing my screen. So you might have to leave the meeting and rejoin. So what are the core skills every beginner needs? Now, before you say you want to go into a particular career path, there are some skills you will still need or tag along with that will help you or make you become successful in that career you decide to venture into. And the first one here is problem solving. So if you like to solve problems, you might want to take a look at picking a particular skill in the tech industry. If you like to think logically, and if you know how to research, there is no amount or kind of research you are being given that you can't work with. You might want to go into tech. And if you know how to be persistent, right? Even if you don't know, have it at the back of your mind that as I'm going into tech, I need persistence, right? Some persons will pick up a skill and learn for like 2, 3 months and they give up, they jump into another skill and they keep running that cycle. And so at the end of the day, they feel this thing is not for them. They've not taken time to focus on a particular skill. And then the final one there is communication. You need to learn how to communicate. You need to learn how to communicate. That's one of the most vital skills in the tech industry. In fact, not only in the tech industry, anywhere you find yourself. For example, you have a client who you're supposed to deliver a product on, let's say let's say on a Thursday. You're supposed to deliver that product on a Thursday or whatever you were doing with the client. But due to some reason, you could not. The best thing you can do is to reach out to the person and you explain, oh, because of this and because of that, I will like us to adjust the date. The worst thing that can happen is you say no. But believe me, when it has to do with people's product, they want the best. So if you're asking for an extension, they will definitely accept it. So that would be a much better way than ghosting the person or refusing to pick calls and all of that. So communication is very, very important when you are trying to start your career as a beginner. So there are some beginner starter tools you need, right? We have the browsers, the design software, the Google tools, the spreadsheet tools, the code editors. Now, as someone who wants to go into tech, you need to know how to navigate your way around your browsers. Whether you're using the Chrome browser, whether you're using Microsoft, Copilot, whichever browser you decide to use, Mozilla, you should be able to navigate your way around them. You should be able to use your Google tools, Google Meet, Google Doc, Google Sheet, and all kinds of Google tools that we have around us, because it's very important as a beginner to know how to use these tools. So a client is telling you, let's jump on a call, and you know what that means. Jumping on a call could be that we are going to use either Zoom or Google Meet. So you need to also understand the tools, how to use them, and then the terms, right? So for someone who's going to data analysis, you need to understand or learn about the spreadsheet tools. For someone who wants to go into development, you know the code editors that you use in writing your programming language. For someone who goes into design, you need to know the design tools that you need. So these are the few tools that have been listed here. There are many other tools, right? There are many other tools which, once you begin to work on a research, what are the tools I need, right? You get so many of them which you can use as someone who wants to start, right? So now let's say you've found the tools, right? You know the tools. The next thing you are going to do when you leave this call, you are going to create a 30-day roadmap. In the first week, you are going to explore. How do you explore? By learning the basics, which means you've already chosen a path. Remember, you already asked yourself a question, what you want to do or what you are good at, right? So now you draw a map, and the first week is to learn the basics and then explore. In the second week, you start learning. By this time, you've already known, okay, this is what I want. And then you start learning. Study foundations, right? You study the foundations very well because it's the foundation that will really help you. So you don't jump, for example, as a developer, you don't jump and start learning JavaScript immediately. You start from the foundation, which is HTML. As, let's say, a designer, you start from the basics. You explore the tools, you know the tools you need, and then you start learning from there. So the foundation is very important because once you start going into the advanced aspect, what will help you is the foundation you laid in the beginning. Are we following? Are we following? All right. So once you start learning and learning and learning, in the third week, you start building projects. You start building projects. It's not only about learning. You can learn and learn and learn, and you get into what people call tutorial hell. So when you keep watching tutorial and you assume you know the thing, but if you don't build, you won't be able to grow. That is the reason why most persons quit after some time. The only way you can gain mastery is by building, right? So when you are done building, you start pushing those things you built out for people to see. People can know what you've done. People can see what you've done. And that is how you start getting gigs. Now, it's not that all these things are going to happen in 4 weeks, right? But I'm just giving you the stages of how you start this career. Explore, learn, build, and launch. Explore. Ask yourself, what do I want? Start, learn, build. Building is the most important, right? Building is the most important. So you might be asking yourself, how do I you? How do I go about these things? right? Now we have the biggest mistakes beginners make. They watch tutorials without practicing. Yes, that's what most persons do. Most persons jump from one tech skill to another. And so when you ask people, what do? They mention different kinds of skills. But when it's time to build something on any of those skills, they can't do anything. So there's no need jumping from one thing to another. Gain mastery in a particular thing. Be known for one thing, and then you can decide to move into something else if that's what you want. And another thing is trying to learn everything at once. Once you try to learn everything at once, you become overwhelmed, and then you end up giving up. So you start with one thing at a time. And then another point is comparing yourself to others. You know, when you begin to compare yourself with others, you begin to have this doubt, right? Begin to question yourself if you are really good enough. And before you know it, you're already giving up. So stop comparing yourself to others, but instead try to build on what you know and take away every form of pride and learn from others. So the effective way of learning is by watching tutorials. Now you might ask yourself, I don't really buy the idea of watching tutorials, right? Then you can locate the nearest training center like LAskill, and they will teach you in a way that, in fact, it might even be better than, or it will be better than watching tutorials. So when you now go to the tutorials, it will now be as an advantage, right? And so whatever you are learning at the training center, you have someone to guide you, right? And then you begin to practice the examples that will be given to you. You build projects. Now, building project is the core thing here. If you don't build, whether you are into design, data analysis, whatever skill, uh, assistant, virtual assistant, whatever skill it is, you need to build something. If you don't build, you won't gain any form of mastery. And if you don't gain mastery, you begin to doubt yourself and you begin to give up. So in this journey, there's no, so you must build projects. And then another thing is teaching others. When I started learning web development, teaching others was one of the things that built my confidence. So when we're in class, those that came in later on, let's say we started like 3 weeks ago, and someone is coming in for the first time. So I will go close to the person, I'll relate to them, I'll look at what they are doing, and I'll check if there's an error, and I begin to correct them. And so that was how gradually, the more I corrected people, the more I was forced to go and research. So by researching and building the projects, I will know or have an error, and I will learn how to solve that error. So once I see other people having the same error, I can easily sort it out for them. So you also become good at what you do by teaching others. So now we have this live action exercise. So I want you, because I'm sure our moderator told you to come with your pen and paper. So I would want you to do this. Just 1 minute. You write your chosen path. If you don't know your chosen path yet, after the session, use this night, sit down and think of the path you would like to venture into after asking the questions. What skill would you want to learn first? And once I start learning this skill, when am I going to build a project? You choose the skill, choose the path, you pick a skill in that path, and then you give a date when you will start building a project. Now, this can only work if you write it down. If you are thinking in your head, it won't work. You have to write it down. So you don't become great by watching, you become great by building, right? Become great by building. So the final action plan is this. After this session, right, you're going to set up a checklist. You pick a path, install the necessary tools, start learning from the basics. I'm emphasizing on this because it's very important. This is where a lot of people miss it. They want to rush or they assume they've known this thing already. And then you miss the central tenet of what you are learning. Start from the basics. Build projects, very important. That's one way to gain mastery, right? And then have an accountability partner. So when I was learning, during my learning days, and I've shared this story before, when we were up to about 20 something, and then when we got to a certain stage in our learning career, a lot of people have dropped. And so 3 of us, right? There were 2 other persons I've built familiarity with. We were helping each other, we were asking each other questions. And with that, we decided to create a group, the 3 of us. And what we do was, we want to work on something, or any day task was given, we work on the task. If you are stuck somewhere, you ask questions, right? And that was how we were able to encourage each other, even when other people started leaving. Why? We were accountable to each other. In fact, even up to today, right? That group is still there, and we still reach out to each other and ask questions. We ask questions like, what have you been doing, or what have you been building so far? So the thing is, once we know that we are going to meet like that and discuss things like that, you will be forced to do something so that you have what to share with your accountability partner. So one of the reasons people give up is lack of accountability. So you don't have anybody to share what you've done with. You don't have anybody to tell you, look, you should have been doing this. Why are you not doing it? So you should have an accountability partner, right? It could be your friend, it could be someone you look up to, it could be someone you know will hold you accountable. So you must have an accountability partner when you're starting so that it will help you keep the momentum going. And then share your progress. Share your progress. You have to share what you are doing. Oh, hello everyone. Today I did so, and so. Today I built this. I need your feedbacks, this and that, and all of that. So sharing your progress is also important because once you see people giving you feedback, it also stand as a form of encouragement, right? Or people can tell you, oh, this one you didn't do it this way. Can you do it this way? You go back to the drawing board and you re-strategize and come up with something better, right? So with this few points of mine, I want to say thank you for paying attention with your time.
Just I go enter this video.
And so, I believe you've learned a thing or two from this session, right? So, if you've not learned anything today, I want you to remember something, right? In all you are doing, make sure you are consistent, right? Make sure you are consistent, even if you didn't do any other thing.
So
Create checklist. Create a checklist. See, let's forget every other thing. Just make sure you write something down. This is what I want to do after this session. I want to pick up my pen and write what I am going to do going forward. So, thank you, everyone. So, if you have any questions, I'm open to hearing your questions and then sharing ideas. Thank you. Thank you.
Please, can we give it up for Mr. Ezekiel? Please, I want to see more hands. It's not easy. Please appreciate him. Thank you very much. Thank you, Angela. Thank you, Peace. Thank you, Abasia Fawn. Thank you, Francis, Patrick, Yoda Batsy. Thank you, Philomena. Thank you, everyone, for appreciating Mr. Ezekiel for this wonderful section. At least, if I've not gotten anything, is that I've gotten the part where I have to have an accountability partner. Okay, for you, if you know you don't have one already, just know that we got it covered. LAskill is there for you. You can actually come and join us. There you will have like-minded people there where you can discuss one or two challenges you have. So thank you very much. We'll move straight to the question and answer section. So those that are already raising up their hands, I can see you. And I'm giving time to them, the first three persons. And for now, we give it to Abasia phone. Please, can you mute your mic? Keep your questions simple and short. Thank you.
Good evening.
yeah.
My question goes this way. He made a statement. He said you choose a path. So for me, I think what if I have, let me put it this way, what if I have two paths I'm good at, for example, creativity and analysis, and I'm also good at problem solving. How do I pick a particular one? And I have desire, like I have choice to go for the two. How do I determine the one and to pick the right one that will go well for me? But
Okay, look, Mr. Ezekiel, please go on.
All right. So, your question is two things, right? And you might be confused as to which one you should go for. So, what I would suggest, or what I would recommend, is that you start with one, right? Become known in a particular one, become good at it before you move to the next one. Now, moving to the next one doesn't mean you've abandoned this one, right? But you've already gained mastery on this other one, and then you now tap this other one to what you are already doing. So that's what I would suggest.
all right, thank you.
So I don't know if Mr. Charles have anything to chip in there.
All right. Good evening, everyone. It's nice to be on the call with you all. Mr. Ezekiel, thank you so much. I'm so grateful to be here. So grateful to hear you. Yeah, I'm so grateful to hear you. So, to everyone who have joined this call, we appreciate you. We have about 30 of us on this call, and thank you so much. So, one beautiful thing about learning a skill is that any skill you learn, thank you so much. I can see, yeah, any skill you learn, right, belongs to you. When I say belongs to you, is in your head. Okay, nobody can take it off from you. All right. And then when you are good at different things, it is good you pick a path, right? A path that is more scalable, a path that is that you can easily monetize, right? Sometimes you have passion, something we love doing. If they even wake you up 2 a.m., you can do those things, right? But then that passion is not scalable. When I say scalable, is not something that over time can begin to generate what you want. Okay, so what you need to do is to learn an in-demand skill that can help you live up your passion so that people, right, can also, so that people can benefit from that skill that you've learned and you make money from it. Like I do tell people, nobody pays you for what you know, right? But they pay you for what you do with what you know. So it is good you learn something that is relevant, something that is of demand, okay? So that anywhere you find yourself, you are going to be relevant in that place, and then you can use it to fund your passion and other things you are good at. Now, in our current age, it is not a big deal again. In fact, it's a big deal, right? That if you don't have a digital skill, you're already missing out. And what I usually encourage people to do is to start with the fundamental skills, right? There are skills you must learn. In fact, there are skills you should have an idea about before applying for any job role. um Early this week I was on Facebook reading through, I was just scrolling through Facebook, and I saw someone's comment, and the guy was not happy. Like, he was really expressing himself. People keep saying, is yes, we know everybody is choked up, a whole lot of things is happening, but he has been speaking out, nothing is happening. And when you come online, people keep telling you to speak out, somebody may help you. That he's tired of speaking out. He's a graduate. He has applied for so many jobs. He has not gotten the job. So when I saw that, I felt for the guy, right? I sent a message. I replied in the comment and told him to DM, to send me a DM. So this guy sent a DM, and then I acknowledged it and I told him to send his CV to me via email, right? The guy sent his CV, right? After going through his CV, I was not convinced to pick him up. I was not convinced to, you know, um, find a role or to assign him to a role or something to do for LAskill or for the brand, right? The guy is very good with supervision. He's good with a whole couple of things he has learned. He's a graduate, an HND graduate. He has even said he's looking for a job. Okay, so what I did was I responded to him that unfortunately we can't accept him, right? But then he should use this period to learn a digital skill, learn a skill that would be very, very impactful in such a way that you are not resistible. When someone sees you, they have something to offer. They have a role to assign you, or a role to assign you, something for you to work on. Okay, so, few of these skills now that we may begin to consider, right? Mr. Ezekiel has said a lot about communication. Communication is very, very important. Now, let's look at the tool part of it, the tools you need. In this current age, if you don't know how to set up an online meeting like what we are doing now, you're already missing out. If you don't know how to use productivity tools, the basics first, Google, like Google Slide, Google Sheets, Google Meet, even your Google Calendar, you're already missing out in the digital space, right? If you don't know how to do basic content creation, like making graphics, even just with Canva or Pixel Lab, you are missing out. If you are not good with writing copies, okay, you are also missing out. You get it? Now, gone are those days where you just learn one thing and you hold on to it and say, yes, this is what I want to do. This is where I'm going to live. This is everything I with this I can achieve all. No. Even we that are in tech, even we that write, okay, I don't write code. Mr. Ezekiel writes codes. Yeah. So even those people that write codes, they still learn other complementary skills. And these skills are very, very helpful. Okay, you are a web developer, right? Fine, you're a web developer, you know how to code. Whatever, in fact, whatever anyone can think about, you can code that, right? You've submitted your CV, the company have accepted you, or maybe a company invites you for an online interview. And then you are the interview, you joined the meet and they told you to unmute yourself or even mute yourself. You don't know how to do that. They told you to share your screen. You don't know how to share. You've clicked on the screen. You've seen share, right? You've been tapping on share, but nothing is happening because you've not selected if it's your entire screen you want to share or a part of your screen or a part of the web, right? There are these basic things company feels you are supposed to know. You already know these things, right? So when you don't know it, it's already an issue. So irrespective of what you do currently, if you don't have any tech skill, this is the best time to embrace this foundational skill. At LAskill, we'll call it the starter skills. These skills will give you guidance on how to understand some productivity tools and use them, right? And of course, this is your starting point, okay? Now, at LAskill here, this starter skill program is being, is being structured in such a way that as you learn, right? As you learn and you follow through this structure well, you will come out equipped, right? If there are 5 people applying for a secretarial role and you are amongst those 5 and you can do graphics, you have an idea on content creation, on video creation, and how to use Google tools, you have an edge, all right, amongst other people that are there. Okay, so what I would advise some of us here that want to start in tech but are yet, to find their way around tech is to learn these fundamental skills. And the best place to learn these skills is with LAskill. If you want to learn online, no problem, reach out to us. If you want to learn offline, we are also available. All right. So for my brother that asked the question, Mr. Abasiofon, if I'm not mistaken, yes, those skills you are good at, add a tech skill to it, add a basic fundamental skills to them. All right, those skills can fetch you money, right? Can help you get a job that you can use to fund other things you are interested in, you are passionate about, so that you can also be relevant in the space. I hope I've made a little bit of sense, right? Thank you so much.
Thank you, sir.
Yeah.
Thank you, Mr. Chow, for that amazing and wonderful input. In fact, I don't have things in my head anymore to put them. They are much. Thank you very much, sir.
Thank
So I'm
you.
going to take one more question before we start for today. And I think I saw Faith Akon. Please, the floor is open. Faith Akon, can you take your question?
One, my question is directed to developer Ezekiel, and I just want to ask how can a medical student juggle between the task of honing a skill and following through his medical studentship? So that's just my question. Thank you very much.
All right. So I will start by saying you manage yourself, right? You manage yourself. Now there was an event I attended sometime, and the person was sharing how he was able to maximize his time in school, right? So how did he do it? Now he said during by 6 when class is over, when they return to the hostel. So what he observed with him was that from that period of 6 to 9, right? What they were mostly doing was gisting, talking, laughing, and before you know it, by 10, he will climb the bed, sleep, wake up in the morning. Before you know it, time is fast spent, and the cycle continues, right? So one day he decided to tell himself that he's going to maximize that time. So instead of joining others in chatting and doing all of that, so what he does is immediately after class, once he goes to take his evening meal, he will spend at least 2 hours doing something outside of his course, right? 2 hours every day. That period where you usually spend chatting with others, you spend that time doing something outside of school and anything that concerns school. So you spend it with is something he had interest in, right? So now you can also do the same. So that was him managing his time. So you can do the same, right? Look out this time that you spend doing some things, maybe scrolling through social media or maybe chatting, doing some things that doesn't really add value, right? I know that medical field can be, it can take your whole time and it's quite engaging, but there will always be time where you get to do some other things. Right? So those times you can maximize them. You get. So you just have to observe, right? What time in the day do you usually spend doing some things that doesn't really make sense or that doesn't help you grow outside of your course? So you can decide to use that time to, maximize the best of your tech career and do something about it. It doesn't have to be too much. 30 minutes, 1 hour, 2 hours. By the time you are doing that every single day, it compounds. You get. So that's my advice if I were to be in such a situation. Thank you.
Thank you very much. I really appreciate your recommendation. I'll see how I could apply it in the coming week. Thank you very much.
Okay, thank you. Thank you for the question and answer. I don't know if Mr. Charles has anything to contribute. Mr. Charles, you have anything to say?
No, I'm good. I'm good. Yeah, he has said it all. The Agbakoda,
Okay, thank you. Thank you to everyone who have joined us and who have stayed with us till this time. We are happy to have you here and we are happy to be part of your tech journey as a beginner. So, my sincere thanks goes to the host, Mr. Chan Zoba, and the speaker, Mr. Elom, for the time for the wonderful section. My thanks also go to the management team who has been the background bone of this meeting. Oh, without you guys today, I don't know what I would have done. Thank you very much, my team members. And then thank you to you who have been here. Please applaud yourself. It's not easy to sit for like 1 hour plus and listen, which you would have been doing something else for yourself, but you are here today. Thank you. Thank you for joining us today. And note that you are not bad at tech, you just need a good starting point. That's why LAskill is here for you and is giving you the right starting point. So, if you want to reach out to us, you can reach out to us on Facebook, LAskill Training Center, on the community. You can also message us from the community. Our number is there. Chat us. Any challenges, if you want to join the next cohort, we are much ready and available for you. Thank you very much for joining us. Mr. Charles, I'll be ending the call. I don't know if you have anything to say. Thank you.
All right. Thank you so much. Thank you to everyone that joined. Sincerely, we appreciate. If you are part of our WhatsApp community, please just we're going to drop a form. Okay, you just give us your feedback, your honest feedback about this. Tell us what you feel about what you've learned tonight. Tell us how you feel LAskill can serve you better. Okay, and then lastly, our second cohort for the Starter Skill program will be starting next month, March, and permits me to share my screen in just 1 minute or 2 minutes to explain a couple of things to you. All right, to explain a couple of things to you. Okay, so um, All right. Can you see my screen? I believe I've started sharing. Okay. All right. Now, this is the starter skill program for LAskill. It is a 5-week program. Currently, the first batch is ongoing and they are learning a lot. In fact, last week, Friday, okay, today is Saturday now. Yesterday was their presentation and it was an amazing one. Though I couldn't join them physically, I got feedbacks and I was impressed. Even the instructor is impressed. So in 5 weeks, there are a couple of things will help you cover. All right, there are a couple of things will help you cover. First of all, the foundation, your digital foundation, which is the internet. All right, you are going to learn about browsers, smart search, email for professional use, online safety, and digital awareness. Now, this is very, very important. You can't say you want to go into tech and you don't understand the foundation or how the internet works. All right, remember, this song, Christ is my rock, my refuge, my stronghold. Okay, you must build your foundation. Your rock must be strong, it must be solid. All right, so this is your fundamentals that you need. Okay, it's very, very important. Now, the next thing we'll look into are the Google productivity tool, where you learn about Google Doc, Google Sheets, Google Slide, Google Drive, Google Form, Google Meet. Okay, yes, Google Meet. And now these are very, very important because you can't be a freelancer without understanding these skills or how they work. Okay. And then the third module, we are going to cover content creation, creating designs either with Canva, with Pixel Lab, making videos, basic copywriting, and integrating AI in all you do. Okay. The beautiful thing about our program is they are hands-on. Maybe you must have been hearing hands-on. You don't understand what it means. Hands-on means they are practical. We do less talking and more action. Okay, less talk, more action, more practical. You'll get certified. You have an opportunity to intern with us. We can refer you to job opportunities. Okay, it is very, very important you embrace this. Now, the registration fee for this program is 125,000 naira. Okay, 125,000 naira. But if you are part of this group now, if you are in this call today, take a screenshot now on your screen. Okay, just take a screenshot on your screen if you are interested. Take a screenshot on your screen, what you can see now, and then chat any of the admins tomorrow, not this night. Just rest this night. Okay, but if you can do that this night, chat any of the admin and said Mr. Charles said you should take a screenshot. Then I'll work as the spirits direct. Now, most importantly, one thing I would like you to know before I end the call now, this program is for absolute beginners. You don't need to have a foundation in tech before you join this program. In fact, if you have zero knowledge, this program is for you. If you want to switch career, you don't like the kind of work you do, or you want to try something else, this program is for you. If you are a business owner, an entrepreneur, this program is for you. If you're a student, a professional, this program is for you. If you just want to gain confidence online, this program is for you. Now, do you know one thing? You don't need a laptop. But if you have a laptop, it's a plus. But you don't need a laptop to start this program. Okay? If you have a laptop, fine, but make sure you have a smartphone and an internet connection. Then allow us handle you for the next 5 weeks. All right? Allow us handle you for the next 5 weeks. People usually ask this question: can I pay in installments? Yes, you can. We can allow you pay twice. All right? Do you need a laptop? Like I've said, no. But if you have, it's a plus. What is the class size? Our class, we just do a minimum of 5 students and a maximum of 10. Once we hit 10, you can't join the class again. Once the program has started in week 1, you can't join the program again. All right, because we pay attention to every student that come in to learn. All right, so we don't want the crowd. We just want to train in batches, so that we see everybody by your face. The day you won't come to class, we'll know. The day you won't do your assignment, we'll know, and we'll handle you and make sure we bring out that tech version of you. So our alumni have been saying a lot good stories about the program. And of course, I will advise you to be part of this. Okay. It is just 125,000 naira only. You can pay in 2 installments. You don't need a laptop. But if you have a laptop, it is a plus. This is a 5-week program that runs Monday, Wednesday, Friday, 10 a.m. to 12 noon or 4 p.m. to 6 p.m. You choose the time that suits you and you work. But then, if you are not in Uyo and you feel like participating in this program, yes, our next cohort, we are going to have an online version, okay? We are going to admit those that want to learn from any part of the world so you can be part of this. So this is me saying thank you to each and every one of you that has made it up to this point. LAskill appreciates you. Thank you for joining this. And like my colleague have said, Miss Aniebet, reach out to any of the admins in the DM and then speak with us if you have questions. If you need clarity on anything, we are there for you. If you are interested in joining our next cohort, remember what I said. Take a screenshot of the page and reach out to any of the admins and we'll follow up from there. So thank you so much, amazing people. Thank you, Miss Aniebet, for giving me this opportunity to speak. Thank you. I know if you don't give me the opportunity, I cannot do it. So I'm very, very grateful. All right. Thank you, everyone, and enjoy your weekend. Keep the rice for me, and I visit you tomorrow to come and eat. Thank you so much, everyone.
Thank you and good night. See you around and see you at the top.